Wednesday. Hopefully you are alive and kicking and ready to kick some A or B or depending on what your word, what your preference is. Hey, it's Patrick Allmond. I'm back. It's Wednesday. Why wouldn't I be back? Why wouldn't I be here? Why wouldn't I be all up in your living room, in your ears, in your brains? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Yes, I know it's cliche because you know what? It works and I need it and no one's paying me for it. So, yes, subscribe on YouTube. But hey, welcome to another live stream with Patrick Allmond. Today we're going to be talking about some life lessons I've learned in working in digital marketing. And then I'm going to kind of run through 5 things that are in a PDF I created recently. Created it with my brain and Claude. There's nothing wrong with using social media to create lead generation and content when the content comes from your brain. I am not a designer. So when I'm working on graphics or flyers or PowerPoints or PowerPoints, let's give it up. I'm a Mac. It's not PowerPoint. It's goodness gracious, what's the Mac? What's the Mac equivalent for PowerPoint, man? It's right here on my desk. Keynote. Yes, Keynote. Everyone says PowerPoint. Even the Mac people say PowerPoint. When we don't use PowerPoint, oftentimes we do use Keynote. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. People love to dog on other people that are using social media to create content. Not a darn thing wrong with that as long as the source is your brain, as long as the content and thoughts are original and they come from you. So don't hate on people that are, using, Claude or Chat GPT or whatever your AI is of choice to create something, to create a beautiful thing. There's different reasons for it. Sometimes I use AI to spin content because I need new ideas. Sometimes I use AI to make it prettier. I will say this over and over. I am not a graphic designer. The weakest AI in the world could create a better graphic than I could. So that's oftentimes what I use it. But I want to run through this PDF, but the PDF looks beautiful and you can always message me on Facebook if you want it. But it's kind of the 5 steps that we use to get really quick Facebook ads out for clients. What was on my brain this morning as far as life tips? Priorities. And the fact that if you do not make your priorities, you will become someone else's priorities. Last week, I shared a really great quote. I don't know where it originated from, but my friend Chris Kowalik from ProFeds.com sent it to me. And it was about how where you are right now is the result of 1,000 decisions you made before. So if you wake up this morning and you're not happy with your appearance or your weight or your health, always exceptions, or your revenue, that is a result of decisions you've made in the past. So it should never be a surprise where you are. Where you are is a receipt of your decisions. Today on my mind, I was thinking about how if when I don't wake up, and I'm curious how you think about this, when you don't wake up in the morning or whenever you wake up and you don't have a list of priorities, you don't have a list of things you want to do, you don't have a list of goals you want to accomplish, then you will be working on somebody else's. Okay? If you ever have a gap in your calendar, I've talked about really good calendar management before. If you ever have a gap in your calendar of an hour and you have nothing in there, somebody will fill it. This is why I'm such a fan of full calendars, even if the full calendar means I'm sitting at my desk doing something. Okay. That's why I'm such a fan of full calendars, because if you have a gap in there, somebody will fill it with their priorities, their goals, their dreams, their wishes. So it's very important for you, if you want to make any progress in life or business, to lay out your goals and lay out your plans and make sure your calendar is filled with the steps needed to accomplish those things. I part of my calendar management philosophy is I don't like gaps in my calendar. Doesn't matter if it's a half an hour or an hour. That means I have no intention or no plans to fill that. I don't like gaps in my calendar. I work hard not to have them. If I have a gap in my calendar, so right now it's 7:09. If I have a gap in my calendar from 7:30 to 8 today, and I have no idea what I'm going to do, then something will fall in there. And you can even put things on your calendar like, this is my planning time, this is my thinking time, this is my creative time. Just make sure you fill it with your stuff, because if you don't, somebody else will fill it with their stuff. 100%. It's happened to me time and time again. So take that away today. Okay, on the business side, um, again, I was prepping for this and I was thinking about my time on the internet and how I've seen digital marketing evolve. And I love your feedback on this, but there's a pattern, there's a repeat pattern. And the older you get, definitely more on the mature side. You see the pattern, but younger people, coming into the digital world don't see it. And I'm going to share with you what I've seen as the pattern when it comes to digital marketing. And this is true for platforms. Back in the day when social media, it was about 5 or 10 years there when social media was the bang up topic. It really was. Google was coming out with a new social network, and then you have the Twitters and the TikToks and the Snapchats and all those. And this is the cycle of digital marketing, in my opinion. A new platform comes out, it gets some traction from organic traffic. The company is usually backed by VCs, and they're taking a loss up front because attention is currency, and they just want attention at any cost whatsoever. So if somebody has, a VC throws $20 million at Fufu, a new social media network, Fufu is willing to take a loss for several years because they're building up that audience, and that audience is what's going to be the attention for the future. And Fufu has no ads in the beginning, right? Fufu has zero ads. It's free to use. It's awesome. And everyone says, ooh, let's get off of Twitter or let's get off of X and let's go over to Fufu because that's where all the cool stuff's happening. And the difference between this other platform and Fufu is Fufu has no ads. It's awesome. You can put videos up there. You can build a profile. You can run your business on Fufu because Fufu has no ads whatsoever, right? And then the VC investors at Fufu decide, oh, you know what? We need to make some money. Let's start slipping in some ad. Let's start slipping in some paid services right there. And then Fufu becomes a commodity, and it's like every other ad platform out there. But the lesson to take away from that is Fufu grew very well in organic traffic. And then what happens is we as consumers, we don't mind consuming traffic as long as it feels organic. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about today here as I make my way through this new PDF. And again, if you want this PDF, text me the numbers on the bottom or DM me on social media or on YouTube. I'm not hard to find, and I will get this PDF to you. Make sure you send me your email address and I'll email the PDF to you. So these are the steps. These are the steps that I'm using. I'm running ads right now to generate leads for this PDF, and it's working pretty well. So these are the 5 steps, and you may already have some of these steps, but I want you to pay attention and focus on the step that resonates the most with you, because the whole goal of this way of doing lead gen is to make it feel organic. Okay, it's kind of funny because organic traffic converts well. It's personable. It's one-on-one. You feel like you're my buddy. Organic traffic converts well, but organic traffic isn't scalable. And after a while, these platforms out there, they don't want you to see the organic traffic. They want the paid traffic, and people like me will pay for paid traffic, and people like you will watch it. But my goal as a business is to make it feel like you are watching organic traffic. So that's what part of this is right here. Okay, step 1, this should be a given. I'm not going to harp on this. If you don't have a central repository or a system of record like a CRM, and if you know me at all, you know I've got a CRM. If you don't have something like that, a centralized database, and it could be anything, I recommend our platform. We are resellers of High Level. I recommend High Level, all day, all night long. But please make sure you get a system of record. It could be MailChimp or Constant Contact or anything. I don't care. Just make sure you have a database. Please do not try to manage your business from a Google sheet or from an Excel sheet, okay? That is not a database. That is not a good way to stay organized. So number 1, let's get past number 1. You need a CRM first, okay? Number 2, and I'm looking at the PDF here as I'm talking to you. I just love this thing. I love how between my ideas and Claude's graphic design skills, this PDF looks pretty badass. I'm sorry. Record videos, record 5 60-second videos. And this is probably the most important step in this entire document. And what I mean here is take your phone and in your office or in your living room or in your car or when you're out on a walk, hold your phone, not horizontally, vertically. Hold your phone vertically, arm's length or whatever, and talk about what it is you want people to see, your hook, and I'm not going to get into the details of exactly, how you should how you should, actually, I take that back. I will. All good content begins with a hook, explanation, and call to action. So yes, make sure all of your videos, and I want you to record at least 5 of them. And you know what you need to do to get 5 good videos? You probably have to press record 20 times. Okay, record 5 good videos of that you're happy with that says, are you having this problem? Or is this you? You want that hook to immediately filter out the people so you know the people that it appeals to versus the people that it puts off, okay? So like all good advertising, and this has been true well before I was born, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, you counted. Hooks work. Hooks work in paper advertising. Hooks work in video commercials. Hooks work in YouTube videos. Hooks work in ad videos. So you're gonna record 5 decent videos. Make sure the lighting is good, and if your phone's microphones aren't that good, then get a cheap lav system on Amazon. I've never used a lav system when recording, lavalier microphone system when recording my ad videos because my iPhone's microphones are pretty good. But you could. That's where you see people walking around with a little puffy thing right here, like a DJI mic or something like that. That's what they're doing there. Is that mic is wired to there. Make sure the lighting is good. You don't want backlight. You want light in front of you. And if you do it at your desk, obviously you want, light here to create a good shadow effect or anything like that. And make sure you leave space underneath your mouth in the video for captions, because that's what's going to come next. So you're going to, however many tries it takes, you're going to walk away with 5 good videos that you can use in ads. And again, hook, explanation of the hook, how you solve the problem, and then the call to action at the end to get the lead generator that you have created for them. And then, and I should notice this wasn't even in my steps here because I just kind of do it by default. And then you're going to get captions on those videos. Okay, we have to be I want to say multimodal is the word. I'm not quite sure. You education specialists may have to correct me on that. But you want to make sure your content is consumable multiple ways. So the video is the video, people can watch it. That's one way, right? Let's say that they have their play the video, but they're not looking at it. It's audio. So it's going to have audio. That's number 2. And let's say they're watching it, but they can't listen to it at the time. That's where the captions come into play. And literally on my phone, I have an app called Captions, and I can run my videos through it, and I have a bunch of different styles, and it puts captions below it. So you're going to record the 5 good videos, you're going to caption them. And once you do that, oh, and by the way, the length of the videos matters. Please, more than 30 seconds, less than 90 seconds. That's your goal with these videos. And you can do them on a tripod or a selfie stick. I've been called the human selfie stick before because I can hold my phone way out here, and it acts like my selfie stick when I'm recording my videos because I have long ass arms, and it works out that way. 1 call to action per video. Okay, I'm looking at my tips here. Don't worry about perfection. If you stumble over a word or 2, it's okay. If you get garbling mouth, then yeah, stop that one and move on to another one. 1 call to action. Here I say keep each one, in my guide, I say keep each one under 45 seconds. 30 to 90 seconds is the prime time for it. And I'm doing this based on what the platforms allow. I think it's either YouTube or Facebook allows 90 seconds. It's considered a quote unquote short video. And of course, you're going to caption every video. I think the caption app I have, maybe $5 a month. Actually, I'm not even sure I'm paying for it, but I have a variety. If you've seen any of my videos, and if you haven't, let me know and I'll send you one. But I've got a variety of caption styles at the bottom. You want captions on the videos. Okay, that's step number 2. Number 3, what do I have here? Oh, launch your meta ad campaign. Now, because the CRM I recommend has a Facebook ad manager in it, that's what I recommend you use. If your CRM has a Facebook/meta ad manager in there, use that. Otherwise, just go directly to, ads.facebook.com. Or when you're in Facebook, you go down the left-hand side, there is always an ad manager there. Go into the ad manager and create a very simple campaign. Now, this may be the hardest step. So step number 2 in my PDF here is the most important step, but step number 3 is the hardest step because over the years, they've made these ad platforms harder and harder and harder to use. All ad campaigns have three basic components. You have the campaign, which is where you determine the overall budget and the time it runs, and maybe a little bit of information about the goal of the campaign. You have the ad set, which is you can determine some budgets per ad set. You can determine some A/B testing, and you can determine your target audience. And by the way, this is almost universally true for Google ads, for Facebook ads, for LinkedIn ads. They almost all have the same structure. I think Google picked this structure once and everybody has adopted it. So you have the ad set, which is where you put in targeting information generally, and then you have the actual ad. And the ad is where you're going to upload that video. The ad is where you're going to put the website or the URL that people are going to click on to go get your thing, or to go opt in, or to text you, or to message you, or to fill in their email address. Okay, and that's the ad. And a campaign can have multiple ad sets, and an ad set can have multiple ads. So oftentimes mine are structured to be one campaign, one ad set, and then I will have 5 to 10 videos as ads in there. 5 to 10, unique videos, and you can label them, and it's always good to label them so you know which one performs better. It could be video 1 through video 5. It could be the file that comes off your phone. I think the files that come off my phone are IMG, and it's some random 4-digit number. But you're going to launch that, and I'm not going to go into the details of launching that because, again, we could talk about 3 hours of just what it takes to launch your campaign. However, if you don't have, I'm going to refer back to step 1 for a second. If you don't have a CRM that does let you launch ads, hit me up and I will get you hooked up with one that does. Okay, that's my blatant plug right there. The CRM that I recommend, that we support, high level, 100% has an ad launcher in it. It's a simplified ad launcher. Don't overcomplicate launching your ads. And I say that because this is a complicated step. Okay, there are people who have entire courses on launching ads. Billy Jean is a great example. I have never taken it, but I hear he has a great Facebook ads course. If you're not careful, you can get into the weeds of launching your ads, and you might spend a week just trying to get the perfect one out. These days, I can get a good ad campaign out in an hour or two and just tweak it over time. I'm not wearing my done is better than perfect shirt today, but I have a shirt that reminds me done is better than perfect. As a matter of fact, I have bracelets. If you ever want some of my done is better than perfect stop doing bracelets, let me know and I'll get you some, because that's how I focus on my marketing, and just getting it out the door and getting some traction. And then from there, improving it. Okay, let's see step number 4. What do I have for step number 4 here? Oh, so step number 4 refers back to step number 1, the automatic follow-up. So let's say in your ad campaign, you say, message me on Facebook if you want my thing, right? If you want my cool PDF, or if you want my video, or if you want whatever, you say, message me. And then if they message you, oftentimes people don't have automatic follow-up, and these messages just hang out there. Again, CRM, make sure you have a system, a CRM, that can do the follow-up for you. If you need to make appointments, make sure that the CRM is good at making appointments for you. Recently, I did a session with Bryce Decora of CloseBot, and if you want a link to that show, let me know. It wasn't my show, it was his show. But we went through his tool called CloseBot, and what CloseBot is really good at is CloseBot is really good at nurturing people to make an appointment. Because in my world, I'm all about getting appointments. So that's what CloseBot is really good at. And CloseBot even has a free tier, and the free tier is pretty good. But go check out CloseBot if you're the kind of person that needs to make appointments. Real estate agents, plumbers, people in the home services industry. We need those kind of people need appointments. Roofers, lawn people, things like that. So make sure your follow-up is automatic. And it's not hard these days. Almost every CRM out there has some kind of tool where you can drop in a series of steps, and the series of steps helps you follow up with the leads automatically. So if you don't have that kind of CRM, let me know, and a brother will hook you up. Okay. And I would also say, and I proved this yesterday, this was awesome. I have a great example of this. And I'm looking at my PDF here, and one of the things here is I say, don't rely on SMS alone. And the whole paragraph in the PDF I'm looking at here, basically, again, I want your lead follow-up to be multimodal. You can just collect email address and then try to follow up with them with email. But we are so saturated with email these days that it very possibly might go to spam, even if it's not spam, and it's going to get buried in everything else they have going on. So as much as possible, try to make sure you have 2 or more methods to follow with your leads. I like to do them on Meta to where people can message me, because then I can message them back on Meta/Facebook, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, it doesn't really matter. And then I also like to get, an email address and a phone number. So that's 3 ways I like to maintain contact with my leads, because if they don't follow up with one because it's saturated, you can hit them up with the other. And of course, they can opt out of all of them. But we also know that some people are texting people, right? Some people are SMS people. Some people are Facebook Messenger people. Some people are email people. I've got leads in my queue right now that some like all 3 and some really focus on one. But in 2026, we cannot rely on a single communication channel to follow up with our leads and our customers. We have to build a multimodal kind of experience, or a multi-touch kind of experience on different platforms. So please make sure you do that. And that's one of the reasons I do like Facebook ads, because by default, the leads that come in, you can message those people if you set it up right. And then when they reply and get their email address, well, now you've got number 2, you've got their email address. You can ask them for the phone number, which people are sometimes apprehensive to give, but hey, they can say no. Always give people the option to say no. And also, always give people the option to stop communicating with you. Maybe somebody clicked on your ad at 2 o'clock in the morning out of frustration, and they decided they really didn't want the thing that they thought they wanted. This happened, was it yesterday or the day before, with one of my ads? Somebody clicked on my ad, filled out the information, and then she immediately replied, "Oh, never mind, I don't want that information." Respect that, okay? When someone says they don't want to hear from you, respect that. And that's just a life lesson too, okay? When someone in your marketing, though, says they do not want to hear from you, make sure you respect that in your CRM or whatever your tool is, and you let it go. Okay, you just absolutely have to let it go. And also make sure in your follow-up you've got multi-touch experience. Don't just do one message and done. Make sure you have a way to follow up with them multiple times. And this is, by the way, another blatant plug right here. This is the kind of thing that we do for clients all day long. This is the stuff we set up. I am eating my own dog food because I use this myself to generate leads, and this is what we do all day long. Coffee and motivation. You can have results or excuses, but you can't have both. You gotta love coffee. You gotta love the coffee and motivation people right there. And no, they are not paying me for that. But if you've watched any of my past shows, you know I love their cups. I really, really do. Okay, and step number 5 in this PDF. Let me see here. Get people on calls. Okay, that's what it is. Is as important as messaging and texting is, it's really important to get people on calls. I don't have any scientific data to show this, but I can tell you that if you get people on Zoom or you get people on a phone call, you have a much, much higher chance of closing it. Somebody sees your ad and they opt in and they click on some things and they go to your calendar and they make an appointment. That is a highly interested lead. By the time you get them on the phone, and again, I don't have math for it, but I'm betting that your chances double or triple or quadruple from their just general interest to actually closing them as a client. And so much of the really great marketing I see, the clients on demand or things like that, is just booking appointments. If you can get that appointment booking cycle down, closing business, I'm not going to say closing business becomes easy, but you get more swings at the plate. Okay? If you have 1 call a day for a week, so let's say that's 5 calls. Not bad. There's a good chance you're going to close one of those. So 20% close rate, 1 in 5, right? But imagine if you had 2 calls and you have the same close rate. Well, that's 2. Or you had, 4 calls for 20? Man, I would love 20, 30 calls a week. I'd be okay spending my time on the phone or on Zoom all day long, and with that many leads. And let's say your close rate is abysmal. Let's say your close rate is 10%. 20% is good, 10% so-so. But still, you are regularly closing. And then your problem is not the leads coming in. Then your problem is scaling, maybe changing your messages and improving your closing calls. And there are solutions for all of that. There are people out there in courses that will teach you how to do amazing closing calls. But the first thing is getting the leads in. You can't close what you don't have. So again, if you want this PDF here, and I titled this PDF, The Playmaker's Guide to Faster and Cheaper Leads. If you want this, let me know. Message me on Facebook. Text me 405-217-4752, and I will get it to you. Or DM me on social media, and I'll get it to you. I really had... and I'm also kind of curious how you think this PDF looks, okay? I put this PDF together using Claude. But again, all the content in this PDF is original content. Claude just helped me with getting it formatted right, getting the pagination right, the branding, because Claude has my complete brand definition inside of it. So this is something I'm very proud of. And I've been working on some other lead generators also, but this is my most recent one. And dagnabbit, I'm very, very happy with this. Okay, what do I want you to walk away with today as we wrap up here at 7:30? Fear. It never goes away. That's it right there. It never goes away. I started my business on whatever the first Monday was back in October of, I think it was 1998. I left my big blue corporate job. You can figure out which company that was. And that was on a Friday. Walked out the door. Might even give them a finger. I don't know. Took a breath Saturday. Sunday, I traveled out to my first client because I was a traveling techie then. And Monday morning, met up with some other consultants and walked into my first paying gig. I was afraid that day. I've got some great horror stories about being on the road. I was afraid on that, not afraid. I was, and fear may be a strong word. A little bit apprehensive, a little bit uneasy, a little bit unsure. Okay. That never goes away. It doesn't have to dominate your thoughts, but the idea of being a little bit afraid and uneasy about the unknown, that never goes away. So embrace that, endorse a little, use it to, kick your ass in the morning, get out of bed and get some shit done. Okay? So don't be afraid of the fear, embrace the fear and take advantage of it. And as always, I really appreciate you watching, whether it's the live or the recording. Make sure you get this on your calendar. I am actually in a pretty good cycle right now. Wednesday at 7 o'clock in the morning. I need to get some added calendar links out there for you guys so you can get this on your calendar. But subscribe on YouTube, please. Turn on the little notification bell. But 7 o'clock Wednesday morning, I've actually got my next 2 shows planned out in detail. Well, not in detail. I've got them planned out. And how do I use that? How do I do that? I've got Claude. I've got a Claude agent that's my live show producer. And Claude preps my social media ahead of time, and Claude follows up afterwards. So I hope you have a great day. I really do. I care for you. I love you. And I will see you next Wednesday. Have a great, great day. And we will talk to you soon, my friend.